What's up, guys? Jawdoe here. This is vlog number 2. It's what is it? Mindset Monday. Before I get into it, I just want to say thank you for the support for the first video. It's awesome. I didn't expect it at all. Thumbs up for you guys. I thought I was going to be the only one giving myself a thumbs up, and then I was going to go, Jawdoe, you're a legend. Like, well done. But it turns out that you guys, obviously like the content and responsive and stuff, and that makes me feel good. It makes me want to do more content. Now, pushing that aside, thank you again though. Today, Mindset Monday, talking about mental health and such. I'm going to talk about PTSD and me. Now, PTSD, for those who don't know it, is post-traumatic stress disorder, and what that is a permanent link to a traumatic event emotionally in your life. So when you feel these emotions in your general life, you go back to the trauma of what happened. So say, to break it down, say, you've got all different types: physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, a death, divorce, girlfriend dumps you, failure in some sort of thing, something that's so dramatic and so traumatic, in your life that it creates this emotional response that's permanently linked to you. So how it works, like not PTSD, but how your brain works to create it, is that you've got 3 filters, and it starts off with your EAM, your early access memory, your frontal lobe, which is your initial point of contact with anything in your life. So you walk into a room, and what you see and feel gets processed, and then it goes into the core part, and in here is your basic emotions. So it's like good, bad, happy, sad. What you're processing goes in here, and it analyzes it. Is it a good situation? Is it a bad situation? And once it picks whichever one it is, it goes to the next part, which is I can't remember what it's called, it's something cortex. And when it gets into the cortex, this is where it lives permanently. Now, after 30 to 60 days, it's permanently locked there. So it's wired into your actual brain, the emotional link. Now, to whatever you've processed. So say it's a good environment. There's a hot chick or a hot guy or something, or it's related to, love and all that. When you feel that feeling, or you go into that room and you see a hot chick or a hot guy, you instantly have that emotional link that's been created. So when you're a little kid and you're in school and you have your little girlfriends and all that, that initial moment, that right there, after 60 days of feeling that, oh, she's pretty, or he's pretty, or whatever the little boyfriend girlfriend thing that you've got going on, is permanently created into your brain, and it just continues on as you get older, and you're forever referring back to the memories. And so as you're a kid, they'll change, because obviously you're creating more memories and putting more in, but they're still the exact same thing. You see the person and you get that response of, wow, she's pretty, he's pretty, or handsome, whatever, and you feel the want, the need, and the adrenaline gets released, or the endorphins and stuff, and you want to pursue that. So you got lust, love, nervousness, butterflies, all these things that are emotionally linked to it. So you'll forever get that. Now put it in a bad scenario, and as it processes and a bad scenario happens, where it's in, say, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional, whatever, goes in, gets filtered, and it comes out saying, bing, this is bad. What happens to your brain is it turns into a survival mode, and it goes, something's not right. This is a threat in a way. So that your perception goes up, your adrenaline can kick in, you're more alert, you're on edge. You could probably do ninja flips, and you probably couldn't do them before. But what happens is it goes to this permanent one, this cortex. And now if this traumatic event has happened, within the 30 to 60 days, and you've got debriefed and you've talked to somebody, the chances of creating the PTSD can be rectified and minimalized. So you might not get it. It might just be, it's a stressful thing in your time, and and you might suffer a bit of anxiety or something, or you might not get anything, because you've dealt with it and you processed it, and your brain hasn't locked it in as an emotional response. Now, if say you've been getting sexually abused for years, too late. You've got this emotional link with someone touches you physically, for example, and every time someone touches you, you're gonna feel you're gonna freak the fuck out, and because you feel fear, terror of the first initial act that locked into your brain, and that trauma that happened, physical abuse, for example. That's what happened to me. I was physically abused, um, and um, not by a parent or anything like that. Like, my family life and shit is fantastic. I wish that people had my family, to be honest. Like my mum and dad are amazing, um, and my sisters, actually, to be honest. You know, I don't tell my sisters that much, but they are good. But pushing that aside, like, my physical abuse was linked to a fight that happened at school for me. I I was 16 and a bit, and my life was pretty good. I was a semi-professional athlete, so I had the potential to be a professional athlete. I was 16 and a half, and I've been recruited to play. Um, so we've got the D League now, and you've got the NBA. Now, the equivalent in my country, I was in that sort of area. So I was 16 and a half, and I'm playing against people that are trying to become professional athletes and get paid, like jobs, like as in men. So I'm playing against like 25, 28-year-olds and stuff, and I'm 16 and a half, and I'm 6'1" and I'm 100 kilos, but I play sport like flat out. So I'm playing 5 days a week, doing training and everything, like an extreme sports person, um, and and so I had this potential to be something, and that was the dream, and that was the goal, like, um, and and then something that happened out of school changed all that. And what happened was is that I was at this party talking to my mate, and my mate's like, "Oh, what's this guy doing here or something?" And I'm like, "I've got no idea," sort of thing. And so there's alcohol and stuff, and so I'm talking to my mate, and he's got a mate with him, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go off and talk to blah blah." Something. So I walked off, and I'm like, "Oh," he's like, "Oh, tell what's his name to come and have a word to me or whatever." So I've walked past and I've gone, "Oh, what's his my mate wants to have a word to you," like, as in they knew each other. And I said, "Oh, this guy wants to have a word to you or something." So this guy's taken 7 of his mates out to talk to my mate. I've just kept walking, like, and I've sat down next to some mum or something on a step, like, the mum's supervising the party. Like, I'm pissed. What am I doing talking to a mum? Well, I'm not pissed. I'm young and I've had a beer, and yeah, and a fight happened, and these two guys defended themselves and ended up, doing a lot of damage to these guys compared to the other way around. And the guy that started and took these mates out walks up to me and goes, "You know what you've done, this isn't over," and shit. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And and I had no idea, and but I have to own that, because that's the moment in time that created what happened later on. And and what happened was, I went to school. This guy's come up to me, and they've planned it. So he's talked to all his friends. So there's 15 people. Like, they slowly sort of came out. They didn't all come out at one time. And it's me and a mate walking to class, and my favorite class, which is PE, sport again. And the only subject that I was like an A student in, the rest of them was just like fail, 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 fail. And I've gone to um, to walk to class, and this guy's come up to me, and he's headbutted me, and I'm like, "Fuck off!" I'm going to class. He's done it 4 times, and I'm real placid, and I've got the ability to not lose it and keep myself in check and be in control, um, and I owe that to sport. Like, just I was always in control when I played this sport. Like, I was a point guard or a point shooting guard, so I was always in control of the situation, and so it taught me it's a good quality, and so I could put up with a lot. And the last thing you want is to fight. I don't want that. And so there's 15 guys now, my mate, and then some guy came out of nowhere and punched me in the back of the head, and my mate went for this guy. So he was defending me, so I had to defend him. So as soon as he punched me and my mate jumped, it was on. It started what was I was trying to avoid, and so my obligation now was to keep him safe. What happened was is that these 15 people, they didn't want him at all, so they just pushed him out the way, and they basically circled around me and tried to beat the shit out of me. And I remember that I just ducked down, and I was just like, protecting my face and everything. No one punched me in the face. Not one person punched me in the face. I got punched like hundreds of times in the head, like hundreds. And phew, talking about it is getting a bit, emotions are flooding in. Um, and I knew that if I fell over, like the thought process was don't fall over because you'll die. It was that extreme. And I just remember I blacked out so many times, and so I don't remember a lot of things. But I remember seeing feet, and the feet that I saw, that was the person that I'd attack. That's the person I'm gonna hit. But I kept make sure that the priority was keep yourself safe, sort of thing. Don't fall over, otherwise you're dead. So in my brain, the filter. What the fuck's happening here? Going in bad, survival mode. My brain's super heightened. Adrenaline through my body, perception, analyzing shit. Just like superhuman, and I felt like Superman. All right, in the sense that I couldn't fly, shoot lasers at my eyes. That would have been sick. It would have been like just kill everybody, and pick somebody up and throw them as far as I possibly could. Now, how I felt as in a Superman was that I couldn't feel anything. So like when Superman gets shot or punched, he's just like that, and that's how I felt. So I was very lucky in that sense that the adrenaline did that. My body kicked into that survival mode, and it stopped me from feeling the punches. So like because I got punched so many times, like I should have fallen over and like been knocked out, but I didn't feel it. So there was no pain. So no pain means no, I'm not even being hit. You know what I mean? Like so there was nothing there. It was just like I'm just standing here hanging on. And but the problem was that that's looking after the fact. During that moment, I'm not thinking that I can't feel this. You know what I mean? Um, the moment it's happening, it's just happening. And so um, I just knew to protect myself, and I slowly just kept protecting my face, and then seeing feet, and then punching somebody, and then going back down, and then it gradually sort of opened up because somebody must have seen it and contacted the teachers or ran into a class because some of my mates appeared, and then the teachers appeared. But as it sort of opened up, the guy that initially headbutted me like came at me, and I grabbed him and I punched him like twice and knocked him out cold. The guy that punched me in the back of the head, as I was doing this, I saw him in the corner of my eye. This is what I mean. This is slow motion for me now. I can feel it. Like this PTSD right now is that the emotions that I feel, fear and all that, just comes flooding straight up, and it makes me, just want to just to cry because I can't handle it. And um, yeah, he's come flying towards me to knock me out, punch me, and just my reaction, I just dropped and I just went whack, and I punched him in the face, and he went flying over the top. But it's like Matrix, so it's all slow motion, and I just see him, and he lands on the ground, and he scratched all his face on the gravel and the concrete, and and then I remember a teacher came, grabbed me, and I got away from the teacher, and I grabbed my books and I went to my class, like because the whole point is that for me, all the focus was I wanted to go to class initially because like favorite subject, whatever, I don't know, but went to class and I walked in and everyone looked at me because I was late because and they looked at me and I don't know what I look like, and everyone's just sort of like all the shock, like there was one of my mates in the class, and the shock was just like and as soon as I saw their faces, like I couldn't take it, something just happened. So I put my books down, went out of the classroom to the room next door, which was like a gym that we had for the thing, and I just bawled my eyes out, like and everything that happened just came flooding in, and I was more upset about not that I got physically attacked, but what I did to them, that you know that I knocked 5 people out, but I don't know that I did. Um, I know one person. I know the one person that started it. That was it. I don't remember these other ones. Um, and and I don't. There's still no feeling. So the fact is that I had this ability to harm these people, and it scared the shit out of me. So yeah, um, and that stuff just when it comes in, it's just like fuck, and now you're a 16-year-old kid. Imagine I'm feeling now. Imagine it at 16, like as it's happened, and when you don't really have any idea about emotions and understand your feelings and fucking all that kind of shit. Some people to this day still don't, but you know, you learn a lot more shit as you get older. It's just how it is, obviously. Common sense, something. And um, the I got called to the office and I got kicked out of school for self-defense. I couldn't believe it. They said it was gang mentality, and because these obviously, like, I'd only been at the school for a year and a half or something, and all through from year 7 to year 8, these 2 year levels had been fighting with each other, and I didn't know this, and the people that were in my year, you're friends with the people that you're in your year, and the principal saw these guys as gang, and he said that, you know, and the stupid thing was, he said that anything that happened out of school stays out of school. I'm like, okay. I didn't bring anything into the school. These guys did. And now you're punishing me and kicking me out of school. So basically, all my hopes and dreams and everything just went boom, you know? And yeah. And I never got the filtering, the debriefing. So the emotional response that was created became a permanent thing in my life. And so instantly, my parents said to me that I became a totally different person, like a literally, like, a split personality. So, you know, all that positivity and social life and everything just died, and I just became, you know, and the existence from that point onwards to now was I got into drugs, I gained shitloads of weight, like now I've lost 10 kilos, so it's good, but it's only been 3 months that I'm making these changes, so, I've still got a whole, I got shitloads of time to fix up shit, and um, yeah, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody, So the only advice I can give to somebody that's suffering from PTSD or depression, anxiety, or whatnot is don't try to don't look at the label of what it is, as in, like, oh, depression. I've got this thing and I need to try. How can I fix this thing? Don't look at how to fix it. Look at the cause of look what caused it. So go the other way in the timeline. Look in the timeline of your life. Don't try to solve it here. Go back and find where it happened, the trauma, because look at it all as a traumatic event. Don't look at it as that label of depression. That's, like, for me, it's just like a big cloud that sort of floats over there. Don't look at it like that. Look at it as a trauma that happened in your life. So if you can go back through your life, because you know your life, you know what's happened, and when you talk about it, like, for example, you just see me talk about it, and I got real emotional about it. Now that's how I found what it was, and I found that I did suffer from PTSD. I went to a shrink, and I said, look, I think I suffer from it. We talked about it and ran through stuff, and it turns out I do, and among depression and anxiety. So it's all caused from one thing. So I've had it for 20 years, and and that's fucking terrible. And yeah, I couldn't wish that upon anybody. That they have to sort of have this thing in their life. But at the end of the day, finding that for me, finding that the trauma compared to trying to find a solution gave me a solution. It made me go, okay, I can focus on this one thing now. This is what it was, and if I can start to deal with this bit, it'll slowly unravel the rest of it. And in the 3 months that it's happened, like, I've done leaps and bounds in my personal life. Like, I've changed so much, and it's awesome. And I needed to do it because, like, I'm a single dad and I've got 2 kids, so I can't live the life that I've lived, if that makes sense, you know. it it's a, like that part of that 3 months beyond the last 3 months, it's been a pretty shit existence, and you know, and when I think about it, it makes me fucking feel terrible, and yeah, but at the same time, I know that I'm at a point which is healthier than that. You know, that's already been done and dusted. I can't change it, so I can look at it and feel resentment and feel, you know, upset about it because it's like all these opportunities have just gone away, like been wasted purely on something that it wasn't in my control. So again, I can't blame myself for something that I physically couldn't control. You know, and yeah. So on that note, what helped me was, well, two books. This one is one of them. So there's a title: How Not to Kill Yourself: A Survival Guide for the Imaginative Pessimist. Now, this is written by a guy named Seth. Oh, Seth, sorry, Italian guy, I think. Now, this book's about $10. I got it on Kickstarter, but the name that I want you to see is the Faith G. Harper. Now, what she did, she wrote another book, and this is the one I found on Kickstarter. It was called. I'll put the links in the description. It was called Unfuck Your Brain, and basically, it made me. She explained it that most events are traumas and traumatic events. Don't look at it as separate things. Just say depression, whatever happened, something happened to make that happen. You know what I mean? Something happened to give you anxiety. Something happened to, you know, so you've got to find those things that happen. Like it might be a couple of things. It might be just the one, a big core one, you know? And as soon as I read that, I just went bing, and just went ding. And that's what made me search for it instead of trying to solve it. I went looking for the trigger that happened, and yeah, and I found it, and yeah, that's all I can say. I'm repeating myself a bit, but I'll put the books in the description, and I recommend checking them out. Now, I hope what I've spoken about has been informative, and people can relate to it and help somebody. Like I don't want to be that type of person that's preaching to the masses and saying that, you know, everything's easy and you can do it, because it's not. And I mean, it's not easy for me either. I've lived, like I was saying, my whole life that way, and to me, it's I've wasted my life, you know, up until this point, and I've still got a lot of work to go on and do, but you know, that led me to here, and it's a positive thing for me, getting through whatever I'm getting through, like. But yeah, so hopefully, you enjoy this, and you know, tomorrow's going to be a bit more of a chill out session. The post, so it won't be as intense as this one, which is a good thing, you know, because there's only so much of that shit that you can take. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.